Let's face it, relationships are hard. I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, I mean relationships with family, with friends, and with colleagues. Workplace relationships can be especially tricky. Startup life is busy and hectic enough already without the stress and anxiety of dealing with someone you have difficulty working with. And if you're not careful, the fallout of a bad workplace relationship can really easily damage the people who are around you, and before you know it, everyone is feeling frustrated. Not only do you feel rotten 9 to 5, but it's a distraction to the important things. When I found myself in this kind of situation at Quinn, I was able to use concepts like trust batteries to help me reflect on those relationships and help me start to rebuild trust. When I joined Quinn as an engineer in the newly formed engineering team, I was excited to bring some of what I had learnt and help build something amazing here. I knew we had great people on board, and I assumed that we would just go through the normal stages of group development, and that we'd be able to just work through any issues as they appeared. While we worked well individually and functioned well on the easy stuff, there were certainly cracks that appeared when we tried to work on some of the harder stuff. On topics like testing strategy, we would spend hours debating approaches with post-it notes and opinions, but not really get anywhere. So we'd book another session for next week, but we'd stay tense for the rest of the day. Then next week would come, we'd have more post-it notes, and we'd lose another hour and not really have any resolution. This would happen over and over again, and the list of unresolved problems would just grow and grow. The more this happened, the less we were inclined to really bring up difficult topics, as we knew we just wouldn't really get anywhere, and that people would just feel bad afterwards. I'd think to myself, how did we get here? This can't possibly be what anyone wants. The thing that really helped crystallize what had got wrong was a short chapter from It Doesn't Have to Be Crazy at Work, about the idea of trust batteries. The idea is that when you first join a new team or company, your trust battery is likely 50% charged with all of your colleagues. Every interaction, however big or small, charges or discharges that trust battery, and the less trust between people, the harder it is to work together effectively. This made me think of the little pains and frustrations that happened over the past year or so, and it really started to become clear where we'd gone wrong. Like a frog in a pot of water which is slowly heating up, I'd missed how all the small arguments had really eroded trust to the point at which where productive disagreements were just so few and far between. Using this model, I was able to evaluate how charged my trust battery was with different members of the team and work out where there was work that was needed. With an idea of where I stood with people, I could start to work out what actions, however small, could start to recharge that battery and rebuild some of that trust. Now, none of this is an overnight fix. We would still disagree, and sometimes disagree really badly. But I was certainly more deliberate about how I respond to things. And I tried to make sure that we didn't leave disagreements in a bad place. I'd make sure to chat to people after disagreements, genuinely thank them for being honest and bringing their thoughts to the table. Now, what I've talked about doesn't really address how to solve the underlying problems. It's just a useful way to think about relationships and encourage you to work out the small ways that you can improve them. Now, why is any of this important? I believe we're doing something big here at Quinn, and that if we're able to bring our best selves to work, enjoy work together, and debate effectively, I really think that we can help an awful lot of people better manage their diabetes care. I'd love to hear what you think. What strategies have you used to manage conflict at work, and how have you rebuilt broken trust amongst colleagues?